In this video, I want to explain why this property is true for when the variables are real and all expressions to calculate the values on the left and right hand side are real. In the previous slide, the left side had an exponent of negative m. Let's first talk about when m is positive. That exponent would be negative. When m is negative, that exponent would be positive. When m is 0, and that exponent would be 0. Then let's talk about a similar property that in some organizations of these properties of exponents is considered different to this property, and some other organizations considered part of this property. In the first video in this set of videos, I explained the why behind for a specific property of exponents, the product of powers. In that property, you add the exponents. I explained why it works for when you have positive exponents. Now let's apply this property for negative exponents in order to define negative exponents without using calculus. 5 cubed times 5 to the negative 3. That will be equal to 5 to the 3 plus negative 3 based on that product of powers property. And now 3 plus negative 3 is equal to 0. And I explained earlier in the set of videos, anything but 0 and that to the 0 power is equal to 1. And now let's divide both sides by 5 cubed, and we get this. And you can do likewise with variables. 5 to the negative of negative 3. Well, negative of negative 3, that is 3, and so we have 5 cubed. 5 cubed, that is 1 over 5 cubed. Now we just learned that 1 over 5 cubed is equal to 5 to the negative 3, and so we get this. And you can do likewise with variables. 0 is neither positive nor negative, so this is a separate case. Let's talk about when m is equal to 0. For example, let's use 5 to the negative 0. Well, that would be equal to 5 to the 0 because negative 0 is equal to 0. As I explained earlier in the set of videos, anything but 0 and that to the 0 power is equal to 1. And 1 is equal to 1 over 1, and again we use that property that anything but 0 and that to the 0 power is equal to 1, and likewise with variables. 5 halves and that to the negative 3. We now know that is equal to 1 over 5 halves and that cubed. In a property that I previously explained in the set of videos called a power of a quotient, that is equal to this. And now be equal to this, and again we use that property of a power of a quotient, and we get this. And you can do likewise with variables. Thank you for watching this video. Here is the link for the playlist about the why behind for some properties of exponents.